Alright, so now I just want to show you a little bit of a change to this, where before we had everything, whenever we changed one value, it would change all the other values automatically, and the exact same line of code was repeated in every one of these. What I want to show you now is how to do that with methods. Now, we put this exact same line of code inside, and then there might be something you've heard of called reusable code, and the idea is that you write code once and you reuse it over and over again without having to write all the details of it. What if we changed information about how we want the background color to change? Maybe we put some timer function into it so it changes a second after you actually set it and changes somehow smoothly. I'm going to do this. You see how we have this void, a name, open and close parentheses, and then the curly braces. The curly braces with the code inside of it. These are the methods that were created for the actual buttons, or for, in this case, for the actual numeric changes. When the value changed, this code or this method would get called. I'm going to hit enter after the ending curly brace and create a new method. It'll be called void update color, or update back color. Open close parentheses, and then give it the opening and closing curly braces. So this is all the code that I just entered. There are some similarities. You'll notice one thing, that it does not have this object sender and event args e. That's part of what Visual Studio adds to the forms dynamically. So whenever a button gets clicked, it always sends this information. So we see the object sender and the event args. Object sender and the event args. They're always being passed in. We haven't used or taken advantage of any of them yet. That's fine. Okay, now what I'm going to do is actually copy and paste this line of code from one of the previous methods into this method. And instead of calling the actual line of code, I'm going to say this dot update back color. This is our new method, and you see how it just, in the IntelliSense, we actually see void form1 update back color and open close parentheses. In fact, I want to do one more step. I'm going to add that XML commenting I showed you from last time, 3 slashes. And then it'll say this updates the background color of the form according to the numeric, or according to the RGB numeric fields. So now when I say this dot update back color, it now tells me additional information about it. So I'm actually going to call it. I'm going to say this dot update back color open close parentheses semicolon. Remember before it was console dot read line open close parentheses, or console dot write line open close parentheses. But in this one you would actually pass something into it. We aren't using those, but it was the same feature. The class name, console was the actual class in this case, or the object. And then the method. We had a method called readLine, which if I mouse over it and hold on to it, it says readLine, reads all the lines, all the characters from the input string. And WriteLine, it writes whatever text or value you pass into it. Now I don't actually want to use these, I just wanted to show you the similarity here. And now we've actually created our own. So I'm actually going to change the code from the previous 3 lines, or from the previous 3 methods. So all of the value changed. It doesn't matter what they were changed to, it just calls this method at the end. Back color equals color from ARGB, and we set the color of the background. Now let's try this out and see if it works. Play. So, alright, we're getting updates. I'm going to let this scroll up. Red is working. Let me add blue. Blue is working. All right. So What are some of the things we might do from here? Why might we want this as a function? Well, let's say that we wanted this to be the reverse value. We wanted to change everything to be negative values. What I would say is 255, whoops, let me stop the code. Oh yeah, if you ever try changing code and you get this, it means that your code is currently running. Look for your stop button. Alright, so instead of having to change code in 3 different spots, I get changes in 1. I'm going to make this work in the reverse order for the moment. I'm going to try 255, that was the largest value it could be, minus the current red value. I'll just reset the red for right now. I hit play, drag this over. You'll notice it starts red, and then as I increase the number, it gets darker, closer to black. All the other values in here will still support that. I only needed to make the change in 1 spot. That was the value of adding this void. Oh yeah, and another thing, you'll notice when I added the XML comment, that was above the method. I can add these to methods. I can add these to variables that are directly inside of the class. And, not that we'll be using this part, let me stop the code, but on the class itself, I can say // this is the test form. So we can put these XML comments in various places that will be helpful to us. Alright, so that's how we're using methods, that's how we're using numeric changes, and that's how we're changing colors. Go ahead and experiment around with them to see about what different colors you make from what. Get yourself comfortable. You should be able to know what colors you need to make yellow. That's one of the standard things. And also what happens when you combine green and blue. Alright.